Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel AWS DevOps Niche Level. So in this video, we are going to see about the service called AWS Macie. So what is the Macie service? So Amazon Macie, it's a fully managed data security and data privacy service that uses machine learning and pattern matching to discover and protect sensitive data that is stored in the S3 buckets. So this is the keyword, right? Any sensitive data, which is like a PII, the potentially identifiable information, when it is stored in S3, this Macie service has the ability to scan the content within S3, the files that is uploaded within the S3 bucket, and whenever there is any sensitive information detected, Macie can flag an alert. So that is the main use of this Macie service, and hence it is a fully managed data security and data privacy service. So when user enabled Macie for his AWS account, Macie will generate the S3 bucket list in the region where it is enabled. So basically Macie is a region specific service. And the moment Macie is enabled, it will start to monitor the S3 buckets, whatever is available in the same region as Macie. And it will also begin to monitor the security and access control of the S3 buckets. Right? And at the same time, monitoring the S3 buckets for any sensitive or a PII information. Okay, now what is a certification exam question that we can expect for Macie? Definitely, I have seen minimum we could get one question in the exam around Macie. So let us just see a sample question. A government entity is conducting a population and housing census in the city, and they have encrypted the files in the S3 bucket. The files are encrypted in the S3 bucket. The government assigned its solution architect to set compliance policies that verify data containing PII. You can see the term PII here in a manner that meets their compliance standards. They should also be alerted if there are potential policy violations with the privacy of their S3 buckets. So now what are all the keywords? PII is one of the keywords. Then we have S3. And they're also saying that they should be alerted when there are potential policy violations with the privacy of the S3 bucket. So which is a service that is mapping all these requirements? It is Macie. So whenever in the certification exam, you see a keyword as PII or any sensitive or a confidential information, then they mention about S3 bucket, scanning the confidential information in the S3 bucket, the answer should narrow down to Macie. Okay, so if you see all these requirements, what is the correct answer here? This is the right answer. Set up and configure Macie to monitor the Amazon S3 data. Okay, so definitely you can expect one question on Macie in the certification exam. I'm talking about the AWS Architect certification exam. Okay. Right, so now we can do a quick lab demo on Macie. I'll show you how to enable Macie and how do we configure the rules in Macie that can monitor for the sensitive files that is stored in the S3 bucket. So let us go ahead. First step is enable Macie. So I'm in my AWS console and let me search for Macie here. Okay, so now let me click get started. You get a 30-day free trial for Macie. I'll click get started. And you can see here, we can see the option enable Macie, right? So that is the first step. We need to enable the Macie for that particular region. So it is a region-based service. Currently, I'm enabling it in the Mumbai region. So let me click enable Macie. So it is trying to discover the S3 bucket within this region. We will also verify if at all there is a S3 bucket available on this region. We search for S3. Okay, it looks like there are no S3 buckets, so probably I can create one. And I will say my demo bucket. I'll give today's date. Let me say ACLs enabled. I will remove the block all public access. Okay, so now the bucket has been created. Right, so that is our second step. First thing, we have enabled Macie, then create a S3 bucket in the same region as Macie. We have done that also. What is the third step? Upload sensitive file with access keys and secret access keys, right? So it can be any sensitive file, or it can be a file with any sensitive information like a username, password, certificate keys, or access keys, secret access keys. So for our demo purpose, I'm going to upload an Excel file which is going to have the access keys and secret access keys. Okay, so let me go to my bucket and I will say upload here. Let me click add files and let me search for access keys. You can see here there is a S3 admin access keys, right? So let me go ahead and select this file. So this file is typically containing the access keys and secret access keys, okay, which is a sensitive information. So I'm uploading that file into the S3 bucket. And in regard to the permissions, probably we can give a grant public read access for now. And let me click upload. Right, so now what we have done, we have uploaded a file with the sensitive content in the S3 bucket. So let us see the content of this file. Let me click this object URL. Okay, you can see here, this is the file. And what it is containing? It is containing the access key and the secret access key, right? Which is a sensitive information. Now I want Macie to detect this and flag a alert. Okay. Now let me go back. Upload a sensitive information or sensitive file with access keys and secret access key. We have done that. Now what is the next step? Create a job in Macie to detect the AWS credentials, right? So let us go ahead and create a job in Macie. I'll go to the Macie dashboard here and let me click jobs. And I will say create a job and which S3 bucket we want Macie to scan. You can see that that bucket is displayed here. I'm going to select this bucket and I will say click next. Again, click next and schedule job. If you want this check to be done on a daily basis, you can even select daily, weekly, monthly, etc. So I will leave it to daily for now. An object criteria. What is the file name extension that you want to include here? Include here, right? In our case, what is the file extension? It is .csv, right? So I'm going to say maybe .csv. And if you have files with multiple extensions, you can actually add multiple extensions here. And then you can click include so that Macie will be including these file extensions specifically for the scanning, right? Now let me click next. And you can see here the sensitive data type, all these things it's going to scan for. Okay. So in our case, what is the sensitive data type? It is falling under this category here. We have a AWS credentials, right? Which is the credentials category. And our content is active secret access key and the access key, right? So it is under this category. So now let me click next. We can click next and then I will say Macie demo job, right? Click next and then we can click submit. Okay, so this is how you will create a job in Macie in order to detect for the sensitive information within the S3 bucket. Okay, so you can see the preview of our configuration here. This is the job ARN within Macie. And What is a file name? We wanted Macie to scan. It is a .csv file. And what is a destination bucket where Macie will be scanning for that sensitive information? The bucket name is here, right? Now, if at all you want to see the findings, basically it is going to take some time to generate the findings. So we can give it some time here. Okay, so now if I see the findings, you can see findings by bucket, by type, and by job, right? So if I click findings by bucket, you can see here, there is one high severity finding, right? So if I click this, okay, so you can see here one thing is, it is saying, I have enabled the public access, right? So Macie has detected that. And it is saying that the public access is enabled for the bucket, which has to be disabled, right? So that is something, that's what I mentioned earlier, that Macie will scan even the permissions for your bucket. If you see this particular slide, Macie will also begin to monitor the security and access control of the buckets. So in our case, in our bucket, what we have done, we have given a public access for the bucket. So that is the reason that is flagged as one of the finding from Macie, and it is saying that it is a high severity. Please change the bucket permission from the public access to a private access, right? So that is what one of the finding it has detected. Now, shortly we can see that for the job also, Macie will say that there is a sensitive content that is stored in the S3 bucket. We should be able to see that in some time. Okay, so now let's see if there is a finding generated. You can see currently there are two findings, right? One finding, we saw that the S3 is having a public access, public read access. And there is another finding also. If I click by job here, you can see this is a finding that it has created. And what is this finding? It's the same thing that we were expecting, sensitive data. So there is a high severity finding, and it is saying the S3 bucket is containing the high sensitive content, which is the active keys and the secret access keys. Okay. So you can see here, it is clearly saying there is a sensitive data, and that data is found on this particular file .csv, and Macie has flagged it as a high severity alert. Right? So this is how you can use Macie to scan the buckets for any sensitive content, at the same time scanning the access controls for the bucket. Okay. So if we go back here, so we have checked the findings also, right? And the last thing is, Macie is, after the free trial of 30 days, Macie is going to be a chargeable service if it is in the enabled mode. So how do you suspend Macie? So these are the steps. So you go to the settings and you go to the automatic sensitive data discovery and then click disable, right? So let me go back. I go to the settings here. Then if I come down, you see an option, suspend Macie, or you can even disable Macie also. So when you suspend Macie, it stops monitoring your AWS environment and it will not generate new findings. Okay. And you can choose to re-enable Macie later. And you will not be charged for using Macie when the service is suspended. Similarly, when you disable Macie, Macie stops monitoring your AWS environment and stops performing all other activities for your account. Okay, and it will permanently delete all of your existing findings. So even if you suspend Macie, you are not going to be incurring any billing charges. So I can say suspend Macie here, and then I can type in suspend, and then just click suspend. Right. So this way it will temporarily disable the Macie service, and you are not going to incur any billing charges. Okay, but anyways, at least for first 1 month, we will get a free trial for the Macie service as well. Okay, I hope this had given you some insights on the Macie service. So if you like this content, you may forward it to your known circles as well.